Hello everyone and welcome to this presentation on the Dublin Core Metadata Scheme. My name is Cecilia Arteaga and today I will be taking you through an in-depth exploration of one of the most widely used metadata standards in digital libraries, repositories, and web applications. Whether you're a librarian, an archivist, or an information professional, understanding Dublin Core is crucial for effective metadata management and resource discovery. So a couple things we're going to be going over today is the overview of Dublin Core, historical context and development, core elements of Dublin Core, strengths and weaknesses of Dublin Core, implementation examples, and conclusion and future directions. So beginning with an overview of Dublin Core, we need to understand what metadata is, right? Metadata is the data that provides information about other data. It helps in organizing, finding, and understanding data by describing its content, context, and structure. Now, Dublin Core is a specific set of metadata elements designed to describe a wide range of digital resources. It provides a standardized way to create metadata, making it easier to manage, search for, and share resources across different systems and platforms. Moving on into the historical context and development. The story begins in 1994 during the OCLC and CSA metadata workshop held in Dublin, Ohio, which is where the name Dublin Core comes from. The workshop was co-sponsored by the Online Computer Library Center, OCLC, and the National Center for Supercomputing Applications, NCSA. The initial goal was simple: to create an easy-to-use set of metadata elements that non-specialists could use to describe web resources, making them more discoverable. In the years 1995 and 1996, additional workshops and meetings were held to refine and expand these metadata elements. These included significant workshops in Warwick, UK, and among other locations. The focus was on ensuring that the elements were simple enough for the general use, but robust enough to be useful across various domains. In 1998, the Dublin Core Metadata Initiative, or DCMI, was formally established as an organization. Its role was to oversee the ongoing development and promotion of Dublin Core standards. During this period, the original 15 elements of simple Dublin Core were formalized, providing a foundational framework for metadata description. The early 2000s saw the introduction of qualified Dublin Core, which added additional elements and refinements. This allowed for more detailed metadata descriptions, including element refinements and encoding schemes. During this time, Dublin Core began to see wider adoption in various fields, including libraries, archives, and museums. A significant milestone was then achieved in 2003 when Dublin Core was adopted as ISO standard 15836, solidifying its status as a key international metadata standard. In 2009, the standard was revised and updated to reflect new developments and best practices in the field. Throughout the 2010s and beyond, DCMI continued to evolve Dublin Core to address the emerging needs and technologies. This included work on linked data and semantic web technologies, ensuring Dublin Core remains relevant in our rapidly changing digital landscape. The initiative was also on focuses on community engagement, education, and promoting best practices in metadata creation and management. Today, Dublin Core is widely used across various domains to describe digital resources. It remains a critical tool for ensuring interoperability and discoverability in digital libraries, repositories, and other digital collections. So now let's get into me discussing the 15 core elements of the Dublin Core Metadata Standard, which is essential for describing digital resources. I'll explain each element in detail and provide an example of a metadata entry for the classic novel To Kill a Mockingbird. So the title element represents the name given to its resource. It's crucial for identifying the content at a glance. So in this case, or this example, To Kill a Mockingbird is our title. The creator element refers to the person or organization responsible for creating the content. It helps attribute authorship. So the creator would be the author for To Kill a Mockingbird as Harper Lee. The subject element indicates the topic of the resource, often using keywords or phrases. This helps in categorizing and finding the resources based on its content. So for our example, To Kill a Mockingbird, some subjects we might be listing it under would be racism, legal trials, and moral growth. The description element provides a summary of the abstract of the content, offering a brief overview. So we can put something for To Kill a Mockingbird like a novel set in the American South during the 1930s, focusing on the themes of racial injustice and moral growth. The publisher element identifies the entity responsible for making the resource available. This can include the company or organization that distributes the resource. So for this book, we can put the publisher as J.P. Lippincott and Company. The contributor element includes other individuals or organizations who contributed to the content. This might include editors, illustrators, or translators. So you can put an example as forwarded by, illustrated by. The date element denotes a date associated with the creation or availability of the resource. This can include the publication date or the date the content was made available online. The type element specifies the nature or genre of the content. It helps its understanding of what kind of resource it is. So in this case, the To Kill a Mockingbird would fall under the type as a novel. The format element describes the file format, physical medium, or dimensions of the resource. This is useful for identifying the technical specifications. And in this case, the example could be as a print, 281 pages. The identifier element provides a unique reference to the resource, such as a URL or ISBN number. This is crucial for locating the exact version of the resource that we are referencing. And this is where I would utilize and put in our ISBN. The source element provides a related resource from which the described resource is derived. This can include the original work or any materials it was based on. So for our example, the To Kill a Mockingbird the source would be based on the original manuscript held by Harper Lee's estate. The language element indicates the language of the resource. This helps in filtering resources based on language preferences. For To Kill a Mockingbird, we would put the language as English. The relation element describes a related resource. This might include other works by the same author or resources that are part of the same series. So for To Kill a Mockingbird, we can put a companion book for Go Set a Watchman. The coverage element specifies the spatial or temporal topic of the resource. This can include geographical location or time period covered by the content. So in To Kill a Mockingbird, our geographical location or time period covered by the content would be Macomb, Alabama in the 1930s. The rights element provides information about rights held in and over the resource. This includes copyright status and usage rights. So for the example that I'm referencing, the copyright would be 1960, Harper Lee, all rights reserved. And in this next slide here, you will see an example of everything I just reviewed with the 15 core elements referencing To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. And to the right, you will see all the metadata there for this specific novel. So in addition to the 15 core elements, we're also going to have Dublin core extensions. These extensions enhance the basic Dublin core metadata elements by providing more structure and specificity, making metadata descriptions more precise and useful. Properties in Dublin core refer to the specific attributes or elements used to describe resources. In the context of Dublin core, properties include both the basic elements like title, creator, and date, and any refinements or qualifiers that make these elements more specific. Properties can be used to capture detailed metadata about a resource. For example, the date property can be refined to date created or date modified if we're looking towards a digital version, to provide specific information about different dates related in the resource. Classes in Dublin core are categories or types of resources. They help in classifying resources into specific groups based on their nature or characteristics. This classification allows for better organization and discovery of resources. Classes are used to specify what kind of resource is being described, such as text, image, sound, or dataset. Data types refer to the specific types of data values that can be used for the properties. Data types ensure that the metadata values are formatted correctly and consistently. Data types are used to define the kind of data that can be stored in metadata elements such as text, date, or integer. This helps in validating and processing metadata values accurately. Vocabulary encoding schemes provide standardized terms or codes for the values of properties. These schemes ensure consistency and interoperability by using controlled vocabularies or predefined set of terms. Vocabulary encoding schemes are used to provide consistent and standardized values for metadata elements, improving accuracy and facilitating better data sharing across different systems. By understanding and utilizing Dublin Core extensions like properties, classes, data types, and vocabulary encoding schemes, we can create more detailed, accurate, and inoperable metadata descriptions. This enhances source discovery, management, and sharing across various platforms and systems. Now we're going to be discussing the strengths and weaknesses of the Dublin Core metadata scheme. So let's begin and first look into the strengths. So we're going to begin with the simplicity and easy of use. Dublin Core is designed to be simple, making it easy for users to understand and implement without requiring extensive technical knowledge. The flexibility and extensibility. While it provides a basic set of 15 core elements, Dublin Core can be extended to include additional elements, allowing it to adapt to the needs of different communities and applications. Interoperability across different systems. Now, Dublin Core is widely adopted and recognized, which enhances its ability to facilitate interoperability between various metadata systems. This makes it easier for organizations to share and integrate metadata. Dublin Core is widely accepted and supported. So, due to its simplicity and flexibility, Dublin Core has gained wide acceptance and support from various institutions, including libraries, museums, and digital repositories. However, as with everything, Dublin Core also has some weaknesses. So, the limited specificity compared to more complex schemes. While its simplicity is a strength, it can also be a limitation. Dublin Core may lack the specificity needed for more complex metadata requirements, which can be a drawback for some applications. The potential for inconsistency in application. So, due to its flexible nature, there can be variations in how Dublin Core is applied, leading to potential inconsistencies in metadata quality and accuracy. The limited support for detailed hierarchical relationships. Dublin Core does not natively support detailed hierarchical relationships between metadata elements, which can be a limitation for representing complex data structures or nested resources. So, in summary, Dublin's core simplicity, flexibility, interoperability, and wide acceptance make it a powerful tool for metadata management. However, its limited specificity potential for inconsistency has potential for inconsistency and lack of support for detailed hierarchical relationships highlight areas where it may not be the best fit for all applications. Now getting into implementation of Dublin Core. So let's explore how Dublin Core is implemented in different contexts, starting with digital libraries and repositories. So something like Europeana, a digital platform for cultural heritage, uses Dublin Core to standardize metadata across collections from European museums, galleries, and libraries. This standardization enhances the visibility and accessibility of cultural heritage items, supports multilingual access, and promotes cultural exchange. The Digital Public Library of America, or DPLA, aggregates metadata from numerous U.S. libraries, archives, and museums. By using Dublin Core as a foundational scheme, the DPLA ensures interoperability amongst diverse data resources, providing a unified access point to millions of digital objects. This fosters research, education, and cultural enrichment. In web applications, Dublin Core is often embedded in HTML, meta tags to improve search engine optimization and web discovery. By using elements like title, description, and subject, websites can achieve better indexing by search engines and provide richer information to users in search results. Furthermore, many content management systems, such as WordPress, Drupal, and Joomla, support Dublin Core for tagging and categorizing content. This integration enhances content organization, improves retrieval, and ensures consistent metadata application, ultimately improving the user's experience. So, in conclusion, let's recap the key points of our discussion on Dublin Core. Dublin Core was designed to simplify resource discovery and improve interoperability across various platforms. It consists of 15 core elements, such as title, creator, and subject, which provide a structured way to describe resources. In real-world implementations, Dublin Core has been widely adopted by digital libraries like Europeana and DPLA. These institutions use Dublin Core for standardized metadata management, enhancing the accessibility and discoverability of their collections. Additionally, Dublin Core is utilized in web applications to improve SEO and in content management systems for better content organization. Looking towards the future, Dublin Core is continuously evolving, just like our technology that we in our environments today. Potential enhancements include ongoing updates to incorporate more specific and detailed metadata elements, and the development of more robust tools and guidelines for consistent metadata application. Emerging needs and technological advancements are also shaping the future of Dublin Core. There is an increase in demand for metadata that supports advanced search and retrieval capabilities. We're seeing things like AI. So, furthermore, the integration of new technologies like AI and machine learning is expected to automate and enhance metadata creation and management. So, that kind of completes my presentation here. I appreciate and thank you for your attention. And again, this concludes my presentation on the Dublin Core metadata. If you have any questions or would like to discuss further, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.